Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another 3D Hangouts. You got myself, Noe Ruiz, designer here at Adafruit. Joining me every week, my brother Pedro.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Pedro Ruiz, creative tech here at Adafruit, and every week we come to show 3D printing projects.
This is the show that that's now in 1080p. 1080p. We're using Wirecast now, and it's hopefully you guys enjoy it. Let us know if you like the quality, because it's just the best.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've all seen the articles out there. There's no reason why we couldn't afford to get Wirecast.
Yeah, we've been using CamTwist, which is open source software, which we like, and it's great.
Don't get us wrong, we support open source. We're an open source company, but when you're paid to work on something, I think it might come out a little bit better, right? Since you're accountable.
Yeah, so let's check out the coupon code so that we can keep doing the show.
Yeah.
It's dual
pay
this
some
week.
bills.
It's
Yeah.
dual this week because this week's project is a collection of dual extruded projects. So we've been playing around, we've been testing, we've been figuring out what kind of things can we do with dual extrusion, not just mixing colors, but mixing materials to make some flexible circuits and all the things. You probably saw the video. So yeah.
We'll cover some cool tips
guide.
and techniques.
Sure. The guide has everything you need. So go check out the guide. It's up now. Gives you some slicing profiles and some things to look out for when you're designing for dual extrusion.
Of course, yeah. We got the 10% off discount code. Use dual during checkout. And we also got some very cool promos running still. Anything over $200, you get free ground shipping. And anything over $99, you get a free half-size Promo Proto PCB board.
Okay.
Very awesome.
Get on that now, folks. Let's go ahead and take a look at the segments we have today. What are you prototyping?
That's right. Every week we have a Love Me assortment. We start off with What Are You Prototyping, which is when we take a look at some of the behind the scenes of an upcoming episode.
Layer by layer.
Layer by layer is when we take a look at some of the techniques in CAD that we use for building other projects.
This week it's slicing and CAD and mixed around. Shop Talk.
Shop Talk is when we talk about new materials or printers that are in stock.
Okay. And then the last one is Q&A, folks. That's where we answer your YouTube questions and make sure our batteries for our microphones aren't dead.
That's right. Ask a question on any of the videos, and we will, sort of gather all those up for a future episode.
That's right. Wow, this is so much nicer to switch, folks. Remember when I always switched to the overhead?
It was always upside down.
Always upside down. Well, bammy wham, is it upside down?
No, it's good. Let's take a look at what we're prototyping this week.
Thank you.
So last week, I think I might have shown off the little stand that we were working on.
Did you show it? I can't remember.
I don't know. Go watch the episode. But this week we're talking about.
I can't remember.
This week
is a really cool one. I like this. This is a Qi charging transmitter. So
yes.
The point is, we've had this Qi transmitter for a while now. I think for a year. We have one project with it where Becky made a book, and we thought, let's make a stand for this not laptop, but tablet and her phone. So this is cool. You made two different sizes. This is the Nexus tablet.
Yeah, so these have it built in, so all you got to do is line it up to the X.
So the Qi charging is the standard that that most devices have nowadays. There's a new device that's coming out.
Yeah, so we're actually filming this right before the Apple event, literally like an hour or two before. Yeah. And we don't know if it has this built in, but if it doesn't, we have these very cool new little sleeves that you can add to any lightning bolt. So this is the receiver part, and it fits on any of the lightning bolt Apple devices. Yeah, so all you do is just plug this in, line this guy up to the little charger, and boom. Yeah. So the reason why we made this is because a lot of the times when we have to do testing on the Nexus device, it's always dead. So now, when it's just lounging, chilling out, it could be charging, ready to snatch up when you're ready to test something.
Yeah. So you guys can pick up the transmitter or the sleeve if you need it, or if you don't. And
may not
make
need
a lot of
we don't know.
Yeah,
depending on what was released at the keynote.
Right. I like this project because it's really easy, and I think you guys can take it and remix it fairly easy. Get yourself sort of acquainted with Fusion, or another CAD program. You can take it out.
You can import this in 123D or open.
Simple way you mount it with just mounting screws. What kind of screws do you use this one?
So you accidentally got some M3 screws.
Yep.
And they turned out to be the perfect size because
for these,
we always have complaints on what 440. Where do you get those? And it's like
American.
I wish we had M something because we absolutely hate inches.
Yeah, we absolutely
Imperial.
hate inches. We don't like Imperial.
That's such garbage, man.
Our world was pixels, and now it's millimeters, and the two interchange.
So there you go, kids. Learn your millimeters.
Yeah, learn your metric system.
So yeah, we'll do a proper layer by layer on it. You can update the source files for this in next week's episode. I think that's when we launch this guy. The Thingiverse files might be available by now. I think I'm almost done with the learning guide, but definitely check that out. That's where we launch all the projects before the video. So check that out.
Okay, very cool.
Let's go ahead and launch into this week's.
If you want to pick up the
yes.
Sorry.
Materials, boards, batteries, and
Dual
of course
extrusion will get you 10% off this transmitter. You can get that now.
Printers.
And printers and things. Okay.
Doesn't work on software or gift certificates, and it expires at 11:59 p.m. So act now.
Act now. Act now, because the coupon code's
There's your
good for a
CTA.
day. Okay, let's take a quick jump to this guy over here.
Let's take a look at some layer by layer.
Will it work? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this is layer by layer.
Yeah, so this week's project is some
collection of projects.
collection of the dual extruded
and
products.
an overview of dual extrusion. I know you guys know what it is, but you know, the whole world doesn't know what it is. But all right, here's one thing I wanted to share about the unicorn horn and some things that I found that were a little unexpected. So if you look at so I'm using Simplify 3D, and I found that that there's a dimensional adjustment, and the horizontal size composition is something where you can adjust the tolerances for an object. And this is the first project where I actually used it. Oh, I'm doubled up here. I didn't know that. Oh, I'm doubled up here. Okay, so under Other, inside of your FF settings, inside of not Fusion, but Simplify 3D, I used 0.50 millimeters for the horizontal size compensation. So here's why I did that. You can see the horn. The horn is made out of two pieces, but when you slice it, you get some gap in between the two in between the two parts. So if you look here, see there's this big gap here, and if you look at the actual model, there is no gap in there. I'm not sure why it's there, but it's nice that there's a setting that you can fix that. And we really didn't notice it at first. We actually printed the whole thing with that gap. We didn't know there was a gap.
And it just completely was able to be broken apart.
It was a big gap. It was literally a point. It's like this. It's like a 0.50 millimeter gap. So without that horizontal adjustment there, you would get that gap. So I added it there. I even added 1 millimeter because I was playing around with different values. 1 millimeter is too much. It made it so that the faces started cutting into each other.
So what it does one of these where they're bleeding into each other.
Faces were like popping out. There's like spikes and stuff.
0.50, as I've been showing off, you can't tell that it's been completely like been merged into itself by.
It's sort of staggering. Each layer is staggering on top of each other. And if we look at the video, oh man, is the video working? Yeah, it's working. So I'm just highlighting the thing and showing it. Let's show it with it actually on, with horizontal composition on. There, now there's the gap.
I swear this thing.
I'm still
does not
figuring
want to
out.
focus at
I'm still
all.
trying to. You're trying to do one thing. I'm trying to do another thing, and we both failed miserably.
I like how it focused when you weren't talking about it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I looked for a second, and it was focusing.
You piece of crap.
Yeah, this is why we don't do a live show. Just kidding. And anyway, it's a really interesting thing that that this would happen with a dual extrusion part. This is the only instance where it happened, where the parts are kind of swirling up. Pretty weird, but it is what it is. I didn't use any other slicing program because I don't think
I think we tried.
Can Cura do this?
I don't know.
Slicer can probably do it, but with a little bit of effort in the UI,
Oh my God,
understanding the UI.
It would take.
So this is why I like Fusion, not Fusion, sorry, Simplify 3D. They actually have a tutorial and stuff on horizontal compensation and setting up your dual extrusion wizard. So I recommend checking those out as well.
Yeah, so I think we tried Makerware as well, but obviously there's no options like this. You try to add any options in there, it's like an XML file that's like all jumbled up and it's just
Makerware
text.
can do? Oh, it can.
I don't know I don't know if they're setting for that their horizontal compensation. Like, is that even in there?
Right,
Who knows? Again, we like open source and stuff, but this is what we pay for.
Well, Simplify 3D isn't open source?
No.
Super close. Whatever, it's licensing software.
You gotta pay, yeah, but you get all those cool options when you do pay. But
okay,
there you go. Okay, next up, some little things with doing pillars, I think, right?
Is that what you want to show?
Yeah. So the next tip for doing dual extrusion is just how far away you can be from
can you
the wall
verify,
thickness.
Is it this video?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, cool.
So when we were doing the the dual extruded battery tester using the conductive filament. One of the quick tips that I found out is just how far away you can be from the wall. So as you can see here in the footage that we're rolling, it's 0.7 millimeters away from the wall. And the reason why I was trying to make it as close as I could, because I wanted to make the trace for that as thick as I could, and I wanted to take up as much as the cavity as I could. So when I tried anything below 0.75, it actually broke out of the wall and went out into the outside, which could cause a short or something if you have a trace that's pretty close to the other one. So that's my quick tip on how far away you can have it from the outer wall before it breaks through. Okay. So 0.7 millimeters is the magic number for that one.
Cool. All right.
And then next up, one that we haven't talked about yet. We always have to have some sort of new material in here. The PVA, I think, is in there.
It's not this one.
That's for the next segment.
All right.
PVA. So we're testing out the water-soluble or dissolvable material. Yeah, that's it. And I think it starts off with a time lapse actually. Let me go to the beginning of that. Whatever. Here's what it looks like.
It did. You weren't looking at it, I suppose. It started off with a time lapse. You just weren't looking. You want to see the time lapse again?
Yeah, do it again. Okay, so here we go. Use the time lapse of that. So like you were saying, not only dual colors, but we're using dual materials here. And this is one of the funny ones where we've had this material for about 3 years. Never had a chance to use it because
did it stop playing?
Yeah, it did. Some funkiness here in the playback. Sorry about that.
Do you want me to? Do you want to keep going? I suppose.
Yeah. Is there any way to get the view back?
Yeah. What do you want? Oh, it's not live or whatever. There you go.
Okay, so you were saying before, not only multiple colors, but you can use multiple materials here, and this is one that we haven't tried before. It's one of the funny stories where we got this like 3 years ago and weren't able to test it until now. So what we've been using it for is the support material here, because you can use a single material to do the supports on it, but you can tell the finish on the bottom. When you rip it off, it actually takes some of that material with it. When you're using the PVA support, it has a much more cleaner finish with the second material on there. It's a little bit more.
Look at that dissolve.
Yeah, it's not going to take the rest of the material with it. And as you can see here, we're just using warm water. I should have did some agitation there to speed up the dissolving, but I grew a little bit impatient. And as you can see here, about after a half an hour, you're able to just remove it easily. On Instagram, I saw Aiden actually using some PVA. Aiden using some PVA. I know it's Phil. He totally ingrained that in our head.
It's always to blame. Sorry, Phil.
But no, he's definitely using it. I think what it's supposed to be used as a cast, something that'll break away.
For a channel.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's actually what I want to test out next.
Okay.
The support material stuff works pretty good. It's a little bit messy, but you can get a better surface finish from it. The one thing I did learn from here is that it doesn't stick to PLA as well as the ABS. So the next tests.
Look how laggy we are.
Oh wow.
Sorry, folks. All right. So
okay. So there's our quick PVA tests with dual extrusion. Yeah. The one takeaway from this is to lower your support structure speed to about 35%. So it has
speed.
Yeah, the speed of which it lays down the support structures. Because if you go over 35% of your speed.
It's very specific to Simplify 3D. It wouldn't work with any other.
I don't know what the settings are for that. But yeah, just make it go slower.
Simplify 3D is what
No, for something else. Yeah. So for laying down your support structures, make it go about 35% smaller.
I don't think you can even change the fill speed on other slicers.
I'm sure you can do it in Slicer.
You can do everything in Slicer.
I know, but
you just have to dig through a million menus.
Again, that's what you're paying for. Okay.
Okay.
That's the nugget out of
cool.
that one.
We got PVA. Yeah, it's dissolvable. You just chuck it in water and watch it dissolve. Mm-hmm. Okay. What's next? You want to see the time lapse of the thing printing?
Yeah, I don't remember when we were supposed to post this, but yeah, let's take a look at the time lapse. Next week's or whatever.
This is fancy.
Yeah.
We're printing on the Printrbot simple metal using the Zebra plates from PrintInZ, and this is it's a pretty good print. Pedro printed it initially with support materials, but it turns out you don't need support materials.
Oh my God! So this is the print from that. If You were showing it there already. It looks spectacular, man, with no supports. Like you said, I was using supports on the Ultimaker, the Type A, and the Flash Forge.
Printrbot.
What a waste of material and time. This printed out quicker.
It's funny because we always make designs optimized for no support material, but you used it because you thought you needed it. On a whim, I tried it out on the Printrbot with no supports using Simplify. And
how beautiful
actually,
that looks.
no, I don't think I use Simplify. I use Cura.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I use Cura. Just, I don't know. Sometimes you want to use something really easy.
So
Cura,
I've noticed that when you don't need to make your own support structures, I will use Cura as well.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's only for the support for dual extrusion, for getting really fine nitty-gritty details is when I have to use Simplify 3D.
Yeah.
But it's good to know that it's there when you do need it.
Okay. Very cool. All right.
All right, let's jump into the next
You got
segment.
the Printrbot's on sale, folks. Pick it up now. If you don't have a Printrbot already, you need to get a Printrbot. It's a great little machine.
I was blown away with the quality of this guy. Like you said, no support material on this. The part snapped, snapped in really, flawlessly. So there was no tolerance changes on that. Definitely recommended for simple sort of designs like this.
Okay, I think that's going to be it for Layer by Layer. We kind of went a little bit over the place, but
it's this new Wirecast,
I guess,
layout.
Yeah.
It's like
weird.
It's linear, but not.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know. It's weird.
It's kind of fun though.
I like it. I like that it's not crashing, but I don't like that we are super. Are we still lagged? Okay.
A little bit. It's a little bit better. I think it's because we were playing the video.
Okay. Next, after Layer by Layer, let's jump into
Shapataka.
I don't remember what we're talking about for sure.
We got. Oh, cool. So this is kind of like
more Maker Faire coverage, yeah. So more gear stuff.
Okay, well, look at this.
So
We're still in Layer
pause
by
it.
Layer.
Yeah, no. So
I can't pause it. I have to double click it and then open the edit shot and then and pause. Okay, what are we doing?
Okay, so more
again.
Maker Faire news-related gear, I guess, stuff that's going on in the shop. Every time that
In the shop?
yeah, well, on our show.
Oh, on the shop talk.
Yeah, in our little world
Shop talk,
in
yeah.
Florida here. So every time that we get like new piece of gear or something, there's always something missing that that we want, whether it's like
Printing can save the day.
Exactly, yeah. So in this case, the little selfie sticks that we're going to be bringing instead of those bulky tripods, because these have the cool little modular tripod head on there, was that these weren't the little Bluetooth adapter part wasn't able to fit into here.
Yeah, the remote.
So yeah, it's just simple little cylinder thing that we whipped up, and I wish it was an hour, but it's actually probably like 4 hours it took to print these damn things.
Well, because
you always got to figure out tolerance testing. I was trying to make like this giant one so it would like increase the height even more, but then it was like wobbly, but I finally settled on.
Here's why they didn't make it so big.
Exactly, yeah. But again, 3D printing saves when you need a simple little adapter, and all this is just a cylinder with the little piece cut out there so it can hold on to the bed. And if you continue playing on that.
All right, let's continue playing.
Yeah, so all this does is just simply convert the larger cylinder into the little smaller one that can fit in there, and then just click in there.
Okay, what Pedro did is made this flat so you can print it on that edge.
Okay, so that comes into proper orientation when printing things. So when you're doing like a cylinder that needs to be strong, you don't want to print this completely all the way up, because the weakest point is going to be every single little vertical part on that. What you want to do is print it horizontal or vertically, so that all the strength is across the whole cylinder. Yeah. Okay. So this is how I laid it down on the bed. The only support structures that we need is that little part at the end there where it tapers out. Yeah.
Okay.
The first test that I was printing, again, unnecessary support on the inside of the cylinder there. Both the Ultimaker, the Flash Forge, the
final
Type A.
test does not have support on the inside. You can do quite a bit of overhang, and it's not really overhang, it just keeps catching itself. So
yeah, so I don't remember what the thickness of it is, but I think it's like 0.6 or 1.6, so it's thick enough where it won't melt or deform while the nozzle's like going overhead.
Cool.
But quick little tip on that: the proper orientation for setting up a cylinder where you need strength. And I forgot to mention too, new version of Simplify 3D that came out. I think it's 3.02, and they have some very neat new features for actually setting up your vertical and horizontal separation for your support material.
Oh, wow.
So it's a lot more easier to take off. The surface finish is a little bit more better. And yeah, definitely check that out. They have options for that inside of I think it's in the support tab inside of Simplify 3D.
Okay.
So definitely check out those new settings that they've added on there, and don't forget to update your software.
Cool. Okay, well, let's take a look at the actual test footage you got with the selfie stick.
Yeah, so
using a GoPro.
so this has already been post-processed inside of Premiere Pro. We're using the warp stabilizer tool here, and we're using the default smooth at 50%. Which, you know, if you do this a lot, you know that you always have to knock that down to like 10 or 5% because it just smooths it so much. You see like bubbles and bulges,
Jello,
like going around everywhere. So the trick to getting this with the default was to just when you're gliding through is to just go so super slow like that, like you're barely moving. Like when you first watched the footage, you thought it was like slow-mo, right?
It does look slow-mo, yeah.
But nope, this is actually full speed. The only thing that we're doing there is, and another thing is bend your knees when you walk, when you're doing like stabilization shots.
Bend your knees.
Yeah, and then just, you know, slowly
absorb your walks.
Exactly,
Steps.
yeah. So you saw the gimbal that we showed off last week. We're going to use this for the glide shots and like the lower shots. What we're going to use this for is sort of like a crane, make it look like we have like a drone in there, since I'm pretty sure we're not allowed to fly drones in there. Us anyway, I'm sure the staff can there. But yeah, that's what we're going to use to get like those high sort of shots, like when we walk into of course, like a big structure or something like that.
It will be our eye in the sky.
Exactly. So those are some cool tests there as we gear up for Maker Faire.
We're going to Maker Faire, folks. We'll be there. We'll see you, and you will see us, and we'll take selfies.
We're actually going to be there with the whole Adafruit posse there. Becky will be there, Tony, Todd, Colin.
You guys love Colin, right?
Yeah.
If you love Colin, tell us down in the comments below how much you love him.
Yeah.
So we love him.
So
everyone.
We'll be in the posse there, and walking around causing destruction.
Getting shots.
All right, next segment. Jump into this week's Q&A.
Was that all the shop talk? No, there is some more stuff. We want to talk about the Ultimaker. It is in stock. It is back in stock. It is a great machine. This is the only, if it's the only place that does a 10% discount for this thing, so you can get a 10% discount on Ultimaker. It's
10% off, and you're gonna get free shipping. So yeah.
Whoa, we're doing free shipping. We're gonna run out of monies. No, just kidding, folks. Get on the deal though.
No, this freaking printer is,
it's my
you
workhorse.
get what you pay for.
It's the workhorse now. I use it all the time.
On the blog this week, we have an awesome post from Sergey, who's using his Ultimaker to make these 20-micron detailed anime figures. So if you know how detailed and crazy those things are, your mind's gonna get blown by how awesome he's able to print these toys. Yeah. And
it's a lot like playing a musical instrument.
That's one of his quotes. Yeah, if you can't just buy this fancy musical instrument and expect beautiful sound out of it, you got to like take a lot of time to make it work. Luckily for this, you don't need too much time. Just a couple belts you got to adjust or something like that, and you will have the best printer, I think. One of the best printers. Over the weekend, I think like like 4 of the AstroPrint pies went down. We were just like pulling our hair out, like we just need this printed.
It's just like whatever. We're gonna use the SD card.
Pop it out.
You can't stop us.
Put it in and
Wi-Fi dongles.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a tip about turning the Wi-Fi dongle power feature off so that it's always on. The management sleep thing. Anyway, folks, check out the Ultimaker. Very good printer.
Also a very cool pulse on dual extruding with the Ultimaker, so definitely check that out on the blog.
Get yourself 10% off your order. Yeah,
they are back in stock. I think we have like 10 of them in there. Take advantage of that awesome deal.
Advantages. We got another video. I don't know what this one is about. What is this one? Dual extrusion.
Oh, I think that was supposed to go with the dual extrusion. Yeah, here we are just removing some of the when it came out. I think we were going to talk about like when to use a pillar, when to use a new shield. Real quick, I think you use an ooze shield when
it just goes all the way up.
Yeah, when both nozzles have to go completely to the other side of your object. Otherwise, if like the support material is on one side and your main body is printed on the left side, then it would be a little bit more efficient to just use a pillar that's closer to the support side.
Okay. Well, we got 5 minutes left here, so let's go ahead and jump into Q&A. We've been all over the place, but here we are in Q&A. We're going to answer your YouTube questions.
So every 6 months, there's like something completely new we have to figure out with
That's
this
how it
show.
works with every technology thing. All right, this one's from Andrew Bevelheimer. What's up, Andrew? I was using Fusion 360 and love it, but I just switched to Linux Ubuntu, and there is no Linux version of Fusion or 123. Any good CAD packages for Linux? Yeah, man. Good question. I would recommend checking out OnShape.com. That is a web-based, fully featured CAD package. It's a lot like most solid modeling apps. You have very, very sort of powerful features. It has versioning control and a lot of other things. Definitely check them out.
The coolest thing is that it imports IGS, step files, 123D files.
123D. That's a long list of things. So really, really cool piece of software. Very
the next one,
versatile.
I don't think it'll work on there, but Tinkercad is also pretty powerful.
Tinkercad is really good too.
I find myself
using their parser for SVG.
Yeah,
Or
parser
even
for the
just
SVG
Polygon.
and just buoying stuff.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll download something off of Thingiverse and
I just wanna punch
it's
a
a
hole
mesh.
out.
Yeah, all I want to do is punch a hole out of it. Nothing can freaking handle this. Fusion,
Yeah.
Maya, Mesh Mixer. The Mesh Mixer is like, you can't do accurate increments of measuring stuff
Right,
in there,
it's
so that's
more-
completely out.
More willy-nilly.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I can't believe that the engine inside of Tinkercad is able to handle booleans that good. So check those out.
Okay. Thank you for the question, Andrew. Hopefully that is a good answer. Check out OnShape. Very good piece of software. Okay, this one's from Rasmus. Hey, great show. I'm currently planning for a Raspberry Pi smartphone project, and the next part is to find the screen. I would like it to be either 3.5 inch or 5, so the ones you have in the shop are perfect size. However, I like the display to have capacitive touch instead of resistive. The only capacitive touch screen I can find on your store is the 2.8 inch. Are you planning on making bigger capacitive touch displays for the Raspberry Pi in the future? Best regards, Rasmus.
So I'm sure
Thanks,
Lamar
Rasmus.
has like boards ready to go. Anytime
Designs,
there's
yeah.
anytime there's like, this obvious thing that we should have, what's probably going on in the background is the supplier, is out, or the prices aren't there, they can't handle the order or something like that. So it's always some weird, structural thing that we can't, that's totally out of the control, but I'm sure it's in our radar. It's just that making it happen.
And it's hard because we can't really give you a date. We can't say, yeah, in 2 months or 6 months or 3 months. We can't really do that.
Well, we're dealing with supplies that are like, on the other side of the world. Things take a month to get, a reply.
Right. So, yeah, that's
I'm
it
sure
right
it's
there.
being worked on.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
But yeah, thanks, Rasmus, for the question. Okay, next one up. This one's from Noah McGregor. I know it's unrelated, but in your Pocket Pi Grow video, I wanted to add a headphone jack. What is the best way to accomplish this? Would I need a switch? Thanks.
I think I have a photo of it, but here's what the little guy looks like.
Sure, I have a photo right here.
Oh, look, it focused for the first
Oh my
time.
God, it
Wow.
focused. So check that out. Look how
So
Pedro
smart.
wired that up. If you take a look at this, this is. Do you want me to switch to the photo?
Yeah, go switch the photo.
Here's
This
the
is
photo.
to
This is
jump
just
in.
a audio jack extender thing.
So all you're gonna do is just
Just
solder to the terminals on there and check out the circuit diagram on any of the Pocket Pi.
It's linked below, but just real
tutorials,
quick,
yeah.
product 1699.
So you're just gonna solder onto the bottom of this. Just look for where the headphone jack is in there, and then look at the diagram. It'll tell you what's left, what's
Yeah.
right.
Have we done this in a project before? I think we have.
Yeah, we have. We've done it on a couple ones, but that's how you should start thinking about things too.
Yeah,
You
extending
can
it.
easily reroute things by just plugging it into the back of the
Wiring it
board
to
and
the
then
back, yeah.
rewiring it somewhere else with something like a little terminal block or something like that.
It's breadboard friendly too.
Yeah, so check that out. I think these are like, I think the price set on there a couple cents or something.
Okay. Well, thank you for the question, Noah. Let's go back to that. Okay. Next up, this one's from Riley H. Dog. Hey, have you heard about recycled coffee PLA filament? ProTyPing has it available. What are your thoughts on it? Good question, Riley. We
I love coffee.
Big fans of coffee here.
I think
And coffee filament. This is really cool. Okay, so what we want you to do is definitely check out ProTyPing on Instagram. Pedro, tell me what you asked the question.
I thought this was recycled grounds as well, because there's another company who was making the rounds that's doing that. So I asked, I think it's Alex Dick, who runs the account. I think that's who we deal with too for doing the purchasing for the conductive filament stuff. He's always active on Instagram, and I asked him, "Is this recycled?" But he's saying no. This is freshly grounded PLA.
It says it smells amazing. Nope. Using hashtag fresh coffee to get the best hashtag scent and color, which needed a hashtag. Only requires a couple of percent anyway.
Yeah, so the interesting note about this is that they're using their new high temp PLA formulation.
Okay.
Which should be a little bit better than ABS, I think. And he also mentions that it has like a wood sand-like aesthetic. So it's a very
versatile.
Yeah, so I want to
Can we
test some
have
of
some
this stuff out.
samples? Can we have some samples?
I don't know, Alex, if you're listening.
Alex, Dick, we
send
want some
over.
samples, please. We'll make a coffee cup or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so right now they're selling it as a kit, which comes with this coffee mug and a sticker. But definitely check that out if you want your workspace to smell like lovely coffee.
Yeah. Okay. This is basically, with thoughts on it, I just think this underscores like you could turn anything into PLA. You can mix anything with PLA nowadays. You got like hemp stuff. You got like wool. We're gonna have brick. It's just so much stuff. So that's kind of interesting. Okay. Well, back to the questions. Thank you, Riley, for that one. Those are fun questions. And flip it there. Okay. Next up, this one's from AMTPDB1. I was told that the only free version is for students. Are there any free programs for design and create G-code that will work with 3D printers? If not, what are the cheapest programs to do this? Thanks for the videos. So thank you for watching. He's talking about Fusion 360, which is CAD software from Autodesk. It is free for not just students, but makers, hobbyists, anyone who makes under $100,000. So that's really cool. So it's already free, so you can use that. And as far as like a program that does design and G-code, they're typically separate from each other. So when it comes to G-code, the best free one that I like is Cura, and most other people would agree too.
Oh yeah.
You would agree too?
I can't get past all the craziness inside Slicer, so yeah. Cura's
the
probably
UI
going to be the
stuff.
first one I recommend.
Yeah.
And yeah, you don't want a program that does it all because, you know, code gets all jumbly and gets all bloated after a while. So
yeah, check out Cura and check out Fusion 360. It's free for everybody.
Yep.
Not just students, but great for students. Thank you for the question. Next one. This one's from Mechanical Cactus, who just wants a hug. How do I get more reliable prints with my Ultimaker? Sometimes it misses a layer and makes a massive mess of filament. Pedro?
Yeah, so one of the first things you want to look at, looks like the guys who are manufacturing it here in the States, Fabricate.
With the number
Yeah, it looks
8.
like some things are being screwed in too tight and some things are a little bit too loose. So
That's
you
exactly
definitely
what happened to us.
you just check, move your carriage around, make sure that it's nice and smooth, that it's not like there's not too much friction when you move it around.
Okay.
And then the second bit of advice is the recommended temperatures are always like 190 or 200. That never works on us. That always leads to skipping or clogging. So we always print like at 220, 230, and when I'm printing like super fast, I'm printing like at 245 just to get that flow going pretty good. So those are the two things you want to check on. Make sure something's not too loose, that it's not too tight, and that your temperature is high enough so that it's not, just running into a cold nozzle.
Okay. Well, thank you for that, Mechanical Cactus. That's going to be it for the Q&A. If you want us to answer your questions, just ask them below on the videos on YouTube. We'll gather them up for the show.
And I just saw one right before the show started. If you have like a technical sort of question, put it in the forums because that's where
you'll get an instant response.
We have people that are paid to search through the forums and answer your questions. That's like that's what their job is. Yeah. So if you want a fast response, that's technical. You just bought something. That's good, yeah. Don't ask it on YouTube. Go to the forums. There are people.
Ask questions like Riley, like what are your thoughts on coffee filament?
Exactly.
I like those type of questions. So.
Don't ask your technical questions there because we're, first of of
that's not our essence.
We get paid to do this.
Anything project based, we'll be able to answer as well. But anything more technical, definitely check out the forums.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're running out of time a little bit, so let's go ahead and run through the show. We want to leave you off with some links. So check out the guides on the Adafruit Learning System. There's a ton of new ones. One that just came out from Phil B, which is really, really cool. Is these eyes. You can check that out. And
so awesome.
Project with that. And then you can check out the blog, the Google Plus page. A lot of community projects are up there. And if you want a sneak peek of behind the scenes or future projects, me and Pedro and Adafruit is on Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah, I think you can see what we're working on for the next month if you check out some of the posts that we have on there.
Okay. Definitely want to check out Wearable Electronics with Vicky Stern.
That's right. We have a whole slew of awesome electronics-related shows.
Fashion-forward projects.
Yep. This is how to combine it with fashion.
Yeah. Very cool wearables. And then after that, in the evening at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, share your projects with us. Come say hi. We're there. A couple of the Adafruit remote team members are there. Phil and Lamar, of course, are there. And you can share your gear, retro gear, projects that you're working on, all sorts of good things.
Just stop by and say hi.
Yeah. Okay, and then after that, it's Ask an Engineer with Lamar and Phil. All open source, Raspberry Pi, Arduino, and more.
That's right.
And new products.
And I think we don't have a banner for this, but we forgot to mention also Tuesdays, I think, is the Desk of Lady Ada, where Phil does the live stream. Yeah, EagleCAD and live soldering. So definitely check that out.
Very cool. Prototypes and whatnot. All right, folks. Well, you've been watching the show, and don't forget the coupon code.
That's right, 10% off. Use code DUAL during checkout.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for coming out and playing with us. We'll be more smoother in the coming weeks or whatever. And look forward to Maker Faire. We're going to be at Maker Faire.
Woohoo! All right, see you guys.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Keep on making.